Adhere to the allotted time and be as brief as possible in your presentations. I'd like to now invite the Commissioner, CEC of Taiwan, His Excellency Dr. Chih-Cheng Meng, who is an Associate Professor at the Department of Political Science and Graduate Program of Political Economy, National Cheng Kung University, Taiwan, with special interests in political psychology, political methodology, public opinion, and election. His presentation deals with Taiwan's experience in making voting safe during the pandemic. Dr. Chih-Cheng Meng.
Thank you. The chairperson of WEB, Mr. Aurora, and this session co-chair, Mr. Huda and Mr. Chandra. Good evening. I'm Chih-Cheng Meng, represent Taiwan CEC to present our success experience to conducting election in Taiwan. Let me show you some statistics. In general, Taiwan do a very good job to compare with the COVID-19 pandemic. This statistics show that until today, September 21st, there are total 509 positive cases confirmed in Taiwan, and more than 80% they are imported cases. Most of the cases they are recovered, but unfortunately we still have 7 deaths. Okay, from the distribution, you can see that during the spring, especially from March to May, the high wave of the confirmed cases coming from, and it looks like during the after September we have the second wave, so we need to be cautious. Although Taiwan is not official members of the WHO, however, we do very good job to encounter COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, why we so successful? We have 3 major actions. The first, we take a prudent action, and also we have rapid response and early deployment. So you can see that even the WHO, they announced the case might have a human-to-human transmission on the middle of January. However, we set up the CECC Central Epidemic Command Center on January 2020. It's 5 days later, and we have the first case on 1 day later. And the whole national countries which has entered the level 2 of the CECC was established. 1 month later, the level 1 of the CECC was established. So means we take rapid response and early deployment. And go back to the how do we to ensure people's voting right and prevent them from the pandemic. Actually, our guiding principle, we have 5 guiding principles for conducting election. The first of all, we do adhering to national pandemic prevention policies, and we conducting advanced preparation. We comply with professional advice. We making adjustment on a rolling basis, and also we striving for the highest standard in epidemic prevention measures. Right, and you can see that this very simple poster during this pandemic. We especially the tradition. Before the pandemic, we only ask our voter to bring a personal ID and some official document. But this time, during this pandemic period, we ask the voter they must wear mask to go out to vote. Okay. So you can see that the poster. But what the concrete measures we doing during the pandemic? Actually, is divided by 3 sessions for our efforts before voting, during voting, after voting. What do we do before voting? First stage, we preparations. Okay, with cooperation among civil affairs, health, and police authorities. Of course, we supplied sufficient supplies. Okay, not only the mask, but also some alcohol baths, hand sanitizers, glove, some such a kind of a thing. And also, we set up for the preparation. We set up the risk assessment form. I will show you later on. And all the staff, they have to check the list. Okay, make a checklist to check whether they have a good preparation. The second stage is publicity. We make the public awareness to tell our public if you go out during the election period, you have to keep social distance. Also, especially for those people under home isolation and all home quarantine, they should stay at home. All right. And the channel, not only the official election bulletin, tradition, television, or broadcasting, but also social media like YouTube. We move the public awareness to the public. We wish every voters they know how to follow the regulation if they decide to vote. And the last stage is site arrangement. Especially this site arrangement is especially for our polling workers. They before voting, they have to disinfect our polling systems. Okay, we set up the easy quarantine stations, and also all the staff when they set up the polling stations, they have to wear the mask and wear the glove all the time. And once they feel they get a fever or feel unwell before the election day, they are not allowed to take the job during the real election day. So that's the three stage we do before voting. During voting on the voting day, you can see that the picture it looks like what our staff how they work. They check all the voters' temperature. They disinfect voters' hand before entering. All the staff should wear masks at all times, and we allow voters that with fever unless pardon? Unless they report they are self-isolation or quarantine or suspect case, they still can go to vote. But after the vote finish the voting, we have to disinfect all equipment and station. But not only the people in the special booth, in general, all the booths we make a inspection at regular intervals. But sometimes we might find some people under isolation or quarantine or suspect case. We will report to the police office to handle these issues. And you can see the picture same. We're requiring all voters to wear masks with prevention supplies. And in Taiwan, voters with a fever should wear, they have the right to vote, yes. But they should wear the glove to vote, all right? And also, even the people with the fever, they can go to vote, but they still need to register their names and phone number just for the tracing. We to tracing in case. And when they finish their voting, we disinfect voters' hand before leaving, and also their booth we need to disinfect. And in the third stage is after voting. Actually, is the time to vote counting. Every working the polling workers they need make a counting. They need to wear mask and glove. You can see here. And this part is in our Taiwan regulation. We welcome the observers to watch the vote counting, but they still need to check their temperature. They still have a wear mask and wash their hand and keep the social distance. The same procedure, just like they go to the polling station, go to vote, just like the same. All the after voting, of course, we cleaned all the environment again. So just keep all the voting procedure from the first stage until the last stage. We can keep the clean and safe for the during the voting procedures. Oh, this is the risk assessment I would like to share you. Yeah, that's much more clear. You can see that we set up the checklist from item 1 to item 11 is before voting preparation stage. And item 12 to item 22 is the second stage during voting. What they should do, and the polling manager, they have to check, okay? And this is the last stage from item 23 to 28, the matter during voting, vote counting. So they need to sign their name up here, then we check whether they've finished all the job. So this is a very good example to show all the members saying that we can set up a checklist to make sure every stage during preparation or even during the voting that can make in the safe situation. Okay, so from February to this year and between February to and August, Taiwan has experienced more than 40 elections. Okay, I just show you some picture. For example, here is on very early February in a village by-election, and this by the end of February a mayor by-election, and this on June 6th is a mayoral recall vote. You can see that we find one voters, they got a fever, so they need to register their name and phone numbers. This last election by-election on August 15, you can see that they keep all the observers, they keep the distance, social distance here. We put the tag on the floor to make sure they keep the social distance. Why Taiwan can be so successful? Actually, we have 4 successful factors. The first is the support and compliance of the citizen. The second is increasing the stockpile of masks and other supplies. The third is department at all government levels coordinate with the CECC. The last is information transparency. Let me tell you some detail on the 4 factors. Actually, Taiwan, we know that democracy is very important. Voting is a very important procedure for democracies. For the consultativity of the and maintain the democracies, I think our citizens in Taiwan they have a very good compliance and cooperate with our regulation, especially when they're going to vote, especially during the pandemic. You can see that. So I think the first important issues, factors, our success is our citizens very cooperate. And the second is the material. Okay. In January in Taiwan, we totally can make about 1.88 million masks, but in April we can make around 16 millions. And because when our government, Taiwanese government, when we got information, we might have during the pandemic outbreak. So the government very quickly to form a national fast mask production team together with the private sectors. So that's why we can supply so many sufficient masks to when we run the election. And the third is department or government level coordinate with the CCC. For election authorities, ensuring the democratic process while also protecting people's health has been a serious challenge. As I mentioned, we have experienced over 40 local by-election and recall voters since February this year. But we work very closely with the center and local government to establish a comprehensive epidemic prevention network. So that's a very good case to showing why we be successful in during the pandemic. The last one, last but not the least, important the factors is information transparencies. In fostering public awareness, Taiwan has been committed to information transparencies and to actively sharing information with the public and the international community. The CECC constantly release updated information. Their daily retreat, press briefing, the mass media through the mass media, social media. Okay, also do some public educations. The CECs, we also do some transparency information works. We make prompt announcements on the websites, and also we make some instruction video not only for voters but also for the polling workers. Okay, so make the polling workers know how to prevent themselves and make the voting safe, and also make the public awareness when they have to take awareness and precaution if they decide to go out to vote. Okay. This is our chairman, CEC chairman Lee Jin-yong. He himself also become. You can see that he on the video also take some instruction video to tell the people how to follow instructions and keep the regularities if they go out to vote. So means we not only the workers but also every staff in the government, we still work on this to make our voting safe. All right. So finally, Taiwan is willing to share our experience with the election management bodies around the world. We believe firmly in the limitless human capacity to overcome challenges together. Taiwan can help. We are confident in our epidemic prevention capacities, making sure that people can exercise their right to vote while protecting their health, safety, and well-being. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chih-Cheng Meng. I'd like to now invite His Excellency, Mr. P. Dilkar Naran, Chairperson of the General Elections Commission of Mongolia, to share his experience of holding elections in Mongolia in June 2020 amid